Alright everyone, sitting here in the 2004 Blazer. Just got my little tablet mount fabbed up, installed in here. What I've got in here is a pretty basic Pioneer single DIN behind the tablet to use as basically the amp and push the signal to the speakers and whatnot, and receive Bluetooth connection from the tablet. The tablet is just a Samsung Galaxy Tab E-Lite that my wife got for me last Christmas. And I've used it around the house a little bit, and decided I wanted to make more use of it throughout the day, so I figured this was a perfect opportunity. Kind of struggled a little bit to figure out how I want to mount this in here. I didn't want anything permanent behind the bezel, that I had to, disassemble the bezel, pull it off to get the tablet out any time. So I wanted something to sort of sit in front of it, but I didn't want it to be super bulky or, wobble around while I was driving, that sort of thing. So I didn't want to use a normal magnetic mount or one of those that suction cups to the windshield or clamps onto something and then has an arm, a bendable arm or something like that comes out, because those just tend to wobble and be floppy and feel cheap. So I ended up making one out of basically aluminum. Aluminum and, believe it or not, wood. I'll show you that here in a second. And it works pretty well. Let me get in here. Well, first off, let's go over an overview of the tablet. Like I said, it's a Galaxy Tab E-Lite. Pretty basic tablet, and it performs this function pretty well as far as a media consumption type device, especially for audio in a vehicle. The basic setup, as you can see, I'm using Nova Launcher as my launcher, instead of using any of these car apps or car mode, and a basic black background with nothing but a Chevy in a minute, and some icon packs to white everything out, a widget to control media, and a widget for the clock. That's about it. And really, as far as I'm concerned, in a vehicle, that's pretty much all you need. Quick run through of what I've got here. Obviously, the clock. That is a advanced clock widget, and it's something you can, I believe there's a paid version, which I have, but you can download it from the Android App Store. The widget down at the bottom for media consumption is, I can't remember, let me look and see. It is Ubiquiti Music Widget. And with it, you can obviously create a widget on any screen, any wallpaper or desktop background screen. And I have it stretched out all the way across, and it just has back, forward, pause, and shows media playing info, like the name of the track and the artist. And it also, anywhere in here, if you tap it, it will bring you to the music player of your choice. I am using Pulsar, Pulsar music player, MP3 player. It's just called Pulsar, and I like it because of the way I can, sort stuff by folder and play it. It's just a preference, but you can have it show or go to any app you want. I'll show you another cool feature of it here in a little bit too. Something else that it does is a media consumption. It works pretty good on a media consumption device like this. The icons, I have navigation, which just goes to Google Maps. If it will register my finger touching it, there it goes. Oh, there we go. And I'm actually connected to Wi-Fi right now, so that's pretty handy. It does not need to be connected to Wi-Fi for the GPS to work, by the way. This is a Wi-Fi only device. There is no 3G or 4G SIM card in it, but it has a standalone GPS antenna, so while I'm driving around, I can actually use the navigation with the maps that I have downloaded, offline map data, and I don't need to be connected to any sort of network to use that, so that's very good. That's one of the main things you need to have if you're going to use one of these as a navigation device, if you don't want another cell plan, obviously. The icon next to it is Torque. I highly recommend you buy the Pro version. It's awesome to have. It's like, well, when I bought it, it was a $5 app. I've had it for years now, and I'm just pairing it with a cheap Elm 327 Bluetooth dongle, OBD2 dongle, and launching it obviously brings it right up. It connects to the dongle right away. It'd take it a second. Now it's connected to the dongle, and a couple of seconds here to connect to the vehicle. There it goes. And now you can actually go in here and view real-time data, RPM, temperature, miles per gallon, miles per hour, that sort of stuff. I'm not going to do a whole rundown of Torque. You can get in here and actually read If you have a check engine light, you can get in here and read. What is this thing doing? figured it not want to work for me on camera. There we go. I do have a check engine light on right now. Sure enough, it shows my 2 errors, which is something I'm working on. It's just another evap system thing. Stupid. You can actually get in here and clear them. I'm not going to do right now because it takes time. Then obviously I'm connected to Wi-Fi, so I can use these two over here, which is YouTube. If you launch it, you can get in here, and the sound obviously immediately switches over to that. You can play YouTube videos and all that, which is pretty nice, pretty neat. And Slacker radio I also have on here. Again, need to be connected to some sort of network, be that Wi-Fi or tethering to your cell phone, actually. So another thing, since I had that YouTube video playing, I'll show you. Well, it went to Slacker because that was the last thing. But if I go in here, let's say I go in here and play a video, right? Starts playing, starts coming out of the speakers in the truck. Now, this widget here on my home screen, the Ubiquiti Music widget, automatically starts showing the data for whatever media player you were using last, which is pretty neat. Now, it doesn't matter what it's showing. You configure it to only launch your media player, which in my case is Pulsar. So, but you can configure that to whatever you want. I just use Pulsar, obviously, like I said. So, switch back to it, play Pulsar. That automatically goes back to showing what was there. So, that's just a quick rundown of the workings of it. Let me show you really quick the setup to get it mounted. Now, the mount for this is actually very, very simple. Quickly unplug the power over here, and I just have this cable basically drooped around the back of it right now. As far as the mounting of it goes, it's mounted magnetically, actually. Well, I don't want to say it's mounted, it's held into the mount magnetically. So really, to get it out, all I gotta do is grab a corner, pop it out, and it falls right out. There's a little black plate stuck to the back of the tablet that's metal, and this magnet here grabs onto it and holds it into the mount. The mount is literally just aluminum flat and angle stock that is riveted together. I put on some cloth tape and some cushion to sort of hold it in there, or to protect the tablet while it's being held in there and driven. And the mount itself is held into a pocket underneath the single DIN Pioneer radio. And to get it out, you can literally give it a little tug and it will come right out. It is simply pressure fit right into this pocket. So now I can use the single DIN radio as it's intended by itself, or get to any tuning, any adjustments I need to make to it, which I can get to some of those even with the mount in place. It doesn't completely obstruct it, but it's literally just some pieces of pine stuck to the aluminum bracket. As you can see there, it's literally just slotted and jammed on there, and it just sort of pressure fits into that hole, and you can take it and give it a good little push and push it right back in there, and that's it. It's mounted. And to put the tablet back in, it's just magnetic. You just hold it up there, line it up. Now let's do it like this, it's a little easier. You just take this, kind of line it up and angle there, and she pops right in there, and that's it. It's in there. Run my power cord back over here and plug it in, and that's it. That's the install. As far as the tablet blocking the volume and stuff like that, I have steering wheel controls over here. I have steering wheel controls running to a box in the dash that allows me to adjust the volume of the aftermarket radio. So I can get in here, I can adjust my volume. I can even, on this side, get over here and skip tracks. It's really that easy. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's a very simple install, and the tablet works amazingly well for it. It's a quick little addition to this. I have, well, using Nova Launcher, I can hide some of these settings, but if I swipe up here to bring up some other stuff on here, I'm using an application called Tasker, which I have several different triggers set to basically when Bluetooth connects, it automatically turns the screen on and sets the timeout to never. So as long as I'm driving and Bluetooth radio is connected, it puts the screen at full brightness, turns the screen on. Well, I'm sorry, it doesn't put the screen at full brightness. That's another trigger. It turns the screen on and disables the screen timeout. Now when Bluetooth connects, it doesn't immediately turn the screen off, but what it does is turn the timeout, or the timer, the screen timeout, to 1 second. So literally the Bluetooth radio shuts off, Bluetooth disconnects, a second later the screen shuts off, and it sits there on charge the whole time, so it's, you know, there's no wait time or anything like that. The brightness right now I have set up with a manual timer basically, and at a certain time in the afternoon the screen dims, and at a certain time in the morning the screen brightens. So it's not full brightness at night driving around, otherwise it'd light up the whole cab. Tasker works amazingly well for this. I tried automate it before, but I couldn't get the screen to come on, and the screen off timeout thing just it wasn't working the way I wanted to. So Tasker was the solution to that. It's a little more difficult to set up, but it works so much better. There's a lot more flexibility with it. And like I said, Nova Launcher over here is what I use. That allows you to basically set up a really clean home screen and have no clutter or anything like that, and it works very well. I have no other home screens or anything set up, just Nova Launcher itself, the main screen. So, but I can still get to all my standard apps by swiping up down here with Nova Launcher. It's another gesture option, so I can still get to any of the apps that are still on, and I still have some other ones that I don't use too often. I got the generic speedometer, and then of course all the other apps that are with it. So that's, it's still usable as a tablet as well. So if I want to pop it out of there, I can bring it in the house and use it as a tablet. So, but yeah, that's about it. Like I said, it's an inexpensive tablet that works great for this. As far as media consumption goes, you can watch 720p with it. Does pretty good. Anything over that, 720p 30 frames per second is about its limit. Anything over that, streaming on YouTube or anything like that, it starts stuttering. But up to that, it's great. And I haven't had any issues with it yet. I'm gonna have to see how having it constantly charged and being left in the vehicle does here in Florida with the heat. I know lithium batteries don't like to be left in the heat or constantly be fully charged, which it may be something that, on the weekend or something, or every other day I'll pull the power plug out and, just let the battery drain and let it cycle, charge and not charge, charge and not charge, and that'll probably extend the life of it, or just taking it out on hot days and not leaving it in the truck. So we will see. So yeah, that's about it. Like I said, very simple, quick tablet mount, and a fairly decent tablet to use with it. My only, not really complaint right now is the fact that it's a white tablet. I think they do have these in black as well. I originally got this one in white because I was going to use it as the screen for my DJI Phantom, which is white, and the tablet, it stutters a little bit with that streaming video from that thing, so I didn't really ever use it for that. But as far as this goes, it works amazingly well. In fact, I'm thinking about creating a similar setup for the wife's car. Now hers has a little more room in the dash. It's a Hyundai Elantra. I may actually get it pretty flush mounted to the dash. This one's, there's a little gap in the back, but there's still enough room to get to all the heater and AC controls down here, and obviously it doesn't block any of the vents or the controls over here. So there you go. That's about it.